There are several ways to include SVGs to your website. In the previous video, when we created the SVG element, we were using what is called inline SVG, which is the most powerful way to use SVG. Well, now you don't see how powerful it is, but trust me, soon you learn why it is so powerful. So let's see the other ways to include SVGs. You can use SVG as an image. In my folder, I have an HTML file and also I have an SVG file that I have downloaded from the internet. In my HTML file, I can create an image element, and in the source attributes, I can reference to this SVG file. Now you can see that it is working, and in order to change the size of the SVG, you change the size of the image elements. So here in the style tag, let's change the size of the image. Now the SVG size has changed. You can also use SVGs as a background image. Let's use it with this container. Let's target it in CSS and let's type in background image and let's choose the SVG file. And you can also change the size of the SVG using the background properties like background size or background repeats. So let's give it this size and you can see that we have the following result. These techniques allow you to include SVGs, but they don't give you so much control over the SVG file. For example, what if you want to change the fill color of this element once you hover over it? Well, using SVGs as images or background images, this does not allow you to do this. As I said before, using inline SVG is the most powerful way to use SVGs. So here, if I open the SVG file and grab these lines of code and paste them in my HTML file, here within this container, you can see that we're using inline SVG and you can control any element of the SVG elements using either CSS or JavaScript. So let's try to change the fill color of this element once we hover over this container. So let's give a class name to this element so we can target it in CSS. Then let's go to CSS and write the selector that allows us to have what we want. And here let's change the fill color using the fill property and choose a different color. And now once we hover over this container, the fill color of this element changes. If you try a different value here, we have a different result.